Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
Bitter heat in the summer, brutal cold in the winter. Violent weather patterns occurring across the globe with more frequency and greater destructive capability than ever before.
When we look at all these storm cells happening around the globe, it seems that the power and focus of these storms is almost being engineered. We can look at the paths of hurricanes and see that they're not random anymore.
What if there's a more sinister explanation? Something man-made? Some say there's a top-secret government device that can destroy our world. Capable of causing earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis.
What's up, people? If you're wondering why the weather is so strange nowadays, and why are we having tornadoes, 20, 30 tornadoes at a time? Why are they coming in the middle of December and January when it's cold? Why is hurricane season so disastrous? You're finna learn right now today. Watch this cartoon that's coming up in the next video. Pay close attention to what they're doing and what they're saying. They're gonna show you exactly how the government is controlling the weather and destroying our property. It's a silent war on the masses. Enjoy the rest of this video and don't forget to like, share, and comment so that it can get out to the masses.
Top secret CIA Weather Control Division, Dick speaking. I mean pizza store! Oh, it's you, Stan. What kind of favor?
As Hurricane Flozell grows stronger, record surf threatens to breach the Langley Falls seawall and flood all of Lower Langley. Residents are urged to evacuate.
Thanks, Greg. Stay safe out there.
Oh, don't worry. I've been in some nasty storms.
Oh my God! If you've seen this man, please call the station right away. He was last seen being sucked into the sky, where he belongs, because he's an angel!
Well, it's official. I'm out at Channel 3, and you two are back in. Thanks to us.
What do you mean, thanks to you? We did all of this. Francine got you on the air, and I abused my CIA powers to make that superstorm.
You made this storm? Lives were destroyed.
But Greg's life was fixed. Now you've got a new work partner.
I'm terrified of these people. They can control the weather.
We did it because we're helpers. It's just in our nature. We help.
Mommy? Could a strange substance found by a Southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention. Well, tonight, KSLA News 12 investigation reporter Jeff Farrell shows us the results of testing we had done about what's in our skies.
It seemed like some mornings it was just crisscrossing the whole sky. It was just like a giant checkerboard.
Bill Nichols snapped several photos of the strange clouds from his home in Stamps, Arkansas. They begin as normal contrails from a jet engine, but do not fade away like a normal contrail. Soon after, he saw particles in the air.
You know, because we'd see it drop to the ground in a haze.
Nichols then noticed the material collecting on the ground.
This is water and stuff that I collected in bowls. I had it set out in my backyard on my dad's pickup truck.
KSLA News 12 had the sample tested at a lab. The results? A high level of barium, 6.8 parts per million, more than 3 times the toxic level set by the EPA. Armed with these lab results about the high levels of barium found in our sample, we decided to contact the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. They told us that yes, these levels are very unusual, but at the same time they added the caveat that proving the source is a whole nother matter. Barium is a hallmark of other chemtrail testing, which even attracted attention from a Los Angeles TV station. There's already no shortage of unclassified weather modification programs by the government. But those who fear chemtrails could be secret biological or chemical testing on the public point to the 1977 Senate hearings in particular, which confirmed 239 populated areas had been contaminated with biological agents between 1949 and 1969. Later, the 1994 Rockefeller Report concluded hundreds of thousands of military personnel were also subjected to secret biological experiments over the last 60 years. But could secret testing be underway yet again?
I'd rather it be something inert and benign, something that's, not causing any damage, but I'd like to know what it is.
KSLA News 12 discovered chemtrails are even mentioned by name in the initial draft of House Bill 2977 back in 2001 under the Space Preservation Act. But the military denies any such program exists.
Conspiracy theorists believe HAARP is responsible for triggering earthquakes in enemy territories, like Iran, China, and rogue parts of Afghanistan over the past 3 years. But HAARP's startling potential doesn't end there. Some say it's linked to a strange phenomena occurring in our skies. In recent years, peculiar cloud formations have been appearing in the skies all over the world with increasing frequency.
I think most of us in North America have wondered at these plumes crisscrossing the sky in grid patterns, parallel rows, and the now familiar X's. And many of us have wondered what these trails are.
While highly speculative, some researchers suggest these strange cloud formations are another agent of weather warfare. They first appear to be simply contrails, coming from high-flying jet airplanes. But these trails linger in the sky for many hours, some for even an entire day, forming an artificial cloud. Some researchers refer to them as chemtrails.
Chemtrails are deliberately sprayed by high-flying U.S. Air Force tankers, dispersing chemicals into the atmosphere.
Will Thomas has authored a book about chemtrails. Since the late 1990s, he has worked closely with another journalist in investigating these strange patterns that appear in the sky.
We have an FAA representative, in fact, a high government official, a person we came to call Deep Sky, attesting to the truth and the reality behind chemtrails. He described this program of spraying chemical trails at high altitudes in so-called commanded airspace, where commercial flights are routed around and beneath tanker airplanes belonging to the U.S. Air Force.
The theory is that chemtrails are being used in conjunction with HAARP. By spraying metal oxides into the air above enemy skies, then directing ELF waves from HAARP to heat those metal oxides, the temperature of the sky is raised to more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, preventing the accumulation of water vapor that would otherwise form clouds and produce rainfall. The ELF waves HAARP produces bounce off the ionosphere and are able to curve around the Earth over the horizon to the ground, making any point on the globe well within reach.
It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. That will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer, and he who controls the weather will control the world.
Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control.
The big cleanup has begun across the South. At least 54 tornadoes reported since Tuesday morning from Texas to Florida.
Terrible. I mean, nothing. I have nothing.
In Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, Patricia Benvenuti coming back to what's left of her home.
And I told my boys, hurry up, let's get in the bathtub. And we barely made it, but we did. And then everything started just crashing, and you could hear everything outside. We thought we were going to die.
The destruction is widespread, and an entire line of homes damaged in Farmerville.
And all we could do was just pray. It was very devastating. And every room where we live, windows are broken.
At least 3 people reported dead in Louisiana. Thousands left without power.
Tornado touched down yesterday evening in Algiers and moved very quickly through Orleans Parish. Entergy immediately started working to restore power to those impacted.
In Mississippi, this mobile home community wiped out. The same massive storm system bringing feet of snow to some parts of the Great Plains and Midwest. In Duluth, Minnesota, people digging out and plows trying to clear the streets. In Utah, new images show the moment a skier hit by an avalanche was rescued from the snow. And now the Northeast is getting hit with snow and high winds from Virginia to New England. Some areas are expecting up to ½ an inch of ice. Cities like Boston and New York will mainly see rain.
And so we are going to start off here with this serious weather threat that is going to continue this weekend. Unfortunately, overnight, several tornadoes touched down, toppling trees and tossing over cars and leaving many homes and businesses damaged in their wake.
And today, at least 36 million people are in the storm zone with the risk of extremely dangerous long-track tornadoes.
We're going to get to Angie's forecast in just a minute, but let's begin here with Adrienne Broaddus. She is in hard-hit East St. Louis this morning. Adrienne, good morning. What are you seeing?
Hey there, Laura. Good morning to you. We knew this storm would be deadly, and this morning we are learning at least 3 people across the state of Missouri have been killed. Now, even before those suspected tornadoes, we saw destruction here in St. Louis. Take a look behind me. All that's left, a pile of bricks. Strong winds up to 65 miles per hour caused this vacant building to collapse. And overnight, we heard multiple reports of tornado sightings, observed tornadoes on the radar, causing destruction to homes and businesses like what you're seeing right now on your screen. We are waiting on word about any injuries, and those strong winds knocking out power across the region. At least 150,000 customers without power in Missouri alone, and a significant power outages in Illinois, Indiana, Texas, and Arkansas. In Texas, at least 3 fatal crashes following that severe dust storm on Friday. Wind gusts reaching over 80 miles per hour. Visibility was near zero, causing multiple crashes, tossing multiple semi-trucks on their sides in Amarillo. As those winds caused wildfires to explode in Texas and Oklahoma, some residents were forced to evacuate, and that was only the beginning, as we are expecting things to get worse and a day of cleanup here in Illinois. Back to you guys.
Soggy is an understatement for some Eugene residents, with some waking up to find frigid water inside their homes.
This is what I stepped off of my bed this morning to go to the restroom and saw. Can you see that?
Marier Daniels and many other residents of the Woodland Creek apartments spent the early morning walking in feet of water. Not far from Amazon Creek, it didn't take long for water drains to become filled and water to flood the complex.
It's very flooded over. You got to check the back behind. It's coming up and it's getting further and further, deeper and deeper.
It wasn't just Eugene that got hit hard with the rain. Here at the Lorraine Post Office, the building was filled with water up to waist high.
Now, all of this rain and the ensuing flooding has wreaked havoc for the many cities and towns across the Willamette Valley. Now, down here in the Umpqua Basin, people living in the communities of Roseburg and Sutherland say that this flooding is some of the worst they've seen in years.
It's pretty crazy to see it like this. It's probably a record rainfall right now, but yeah, this is, like I said, astronomical. It's pretty impressive, really.
The Umpqua River is quite literally roaring as neighbors try to catch a glimpse at such a rare sight. But across town, residents are either loading up on sandbags or watching their property slip beneath the water line.
Yeah, once it crested over the bank, it filled this up within a half hour. It just kept rising.
And along Deer Creek, all you could see were properties completely underwater.
Get a blanket or anything? Got my truck.
It's a mess. Well, our pool is gone, and our carports are gone, and you see what's left standing there. It did not go into our house. Our house is dry, so I'm grateful.
Tonight for homeowners who found themselves underwater during major flooding. Federal officials approved buyouts for more than a dozen flood-damaged properties in University City. The buyouts focus on homes inundated with water when River Des Peres overran its bank in 2022. The cash will go towards several homes on Wilson Avenue and the Hafner Court apartments. Since 2022, the area has done several things to mitigate flooding in the future. This includes removing slabs of concrete from the River Des Peres tunnel to a local nonprofit planting trees in some of the hardest hit areas. An annual
Well, it's official. I'm out at Channel 3 and you two are back in. Thanks to us.
What do you mean thanks to you? We did all of this. Francine got you on the air and I abused my CIA powers to make that superstorm.
You made this storm? Lives were destroyed.
But Greg's life was fixed. Now you've got a new work partner.
I'm terrified of these people. They can control the weather.
We did it because we're helpers. It's just in our nature. We help.
Mommy? So, this is what's happening. And if you need more evidence of it, here's how you test it. Every night you watch the weather report on the news, and they say rain is coming, or storm is coming, or hurricane, or anything is coming. The day before, go outside, take a good look up in the sky, and just watch your skies for the next couple of hours. And watch what happens. And then you will see that this happens before the storms. And then you will also understand how they can predict the weather, because they're making these things happen. That's how they can tell you the exact date and time a storm is coming, or that the weather is going to change, or that the temperature is going to drop from 80 to 30 within a couple of hours. Now, it's up to you to pay attention if you don't believe it. And it's also up to you to lean on God when we're dealing with the devil.